Travis Scott is one of the biggest rap artists in the world. His songs gather hundreds of millions of hits, merch sells like hotcakes, and he is also married to the most popular girl on Instagram, the beauty Kylie Jenner, who has given him 2 wonderful children. He had a huge influence on the auto-tune direction that music was heading towards.
Top flow right there all through Haiti. Yeah. Oh no, I can't get with y'all.
His fellow countrymen respect him. Travis glorifies Houston in his songs. He even received the key to his hometown, Missouri City, where Travis Scott Day is now celebrated on February 10th. But every person, despite their good deeds, has skeletons in the closet, and the hero of today's video is no exception. For starters, I'll tell you about a person who some may not know. His name is Shane Morris. This guy helped Travis promote his music at the very beginning of his career. He was a mentor for him and introduced Scott to many A-list celebrities, such as Juicy J from 3 6 Mafia and Keisha. In general, if it weren't for this white guy, we might never have heard the music of Travis Scott. They have not talked for a long time, ever since the artist refused to work with him. I will read you the main points from a letter in which Shane told how fame got to the head of a simple man. You know what's really fucked up about the whole Travis Scott situation? I think I'm finally ready to speak on this guy. I fucking found Travis Scott. He won't tell anyone that, but I was the guy who set him up with every single media outlet, everyone in hip-hop, everyone in magazine land, free studio time, everything. I first started talking to Travis Scott after he sent me some music in early January of 2010. I'm not someone without a network in music. If I really believe in you, I will introduce you to everyone you know in order to make you successful. I did that for Travis. He had the talent, but at the end of the day, he didn't know who to talk to or how to write a coherent email. In this business, writing a professional email can really make a difference. Throughout the winter of 2011, I worked with Travis. I met up with him in mid-December of 2011 in Houston. We went out with Tony Loney with a camera and we talked about music. It was going to be for a documentary, and Travis would be a big part of it. I remember running into a girl who read ear milk at a Fat Burger. She recognized me and noted to me about how Travis must have said swag at least 20 times in 2 minutes. In Tony's Tundra, I heard Analog for the first time.
When the nights was dimmer, had nobody to look to. Older brother was iller, seen the look in his eyes.
At that very moment, I knew Travis would be bigger than famous. I felt genuinely happy for the guy because he was humble, loved music, and respected the people who helped him get there. But you want a shitty character move? You want to know what low, grimy motherfucker Travis Scott is? Late one night, we were all down in the dungeon, up late, having a party. Music was playing, we were all having fun, and then I did what all epileptic people do from time to time. I had a seizure. You know what Travis Scott did? He left. He and his friend Tony left me. I eventually ended up at the hospital that night, but Travis couldn't be bothered. I should mention at this point that during the week before my seizure, Travis and I were discussing me managing him. For almost 2 years I had been working with him, building him up, and giving him guidance and music. To get left like that when I'm having a medical emergency, that's pretty cold. And in theory, Travis was supposed to take care of his friend and ask how he was, but Shane ended up calling him himself. And that's where Travis said he didn't need a manager who was shaking like shit lying on the floor. After a while, Shane received a court letter. I got a letter from the attorneys representing Sony and Epic Records letting me know it was their intent to pursue legal action against me on behalf of Travis Scott. I posted a song that he did with OG Chess and ASAP Ferg on my SoundCloud, a song they did in November of 2011.
To get a hose in Prairie View, fixing one big bowl of cereal, not to add my clicks Imperial, right around Phantoms when scared.
A song that he stole from OG Chess. I know because we still have the original session with a timestamp. Travis wants to sue me because I posted something he stole from someone else. Shane considers him a liar, manipulator, egomaniac, and in general, Travis does not know the word loyalty. He ended the letter with the words, "Travis Scott is a punk. I'll stand by that as long as I live. Fuck Travis Scott." Well, while Shane holds a grudge and resentment against his former comrade, Travis gives performances at concerts. One of the legendary moments occurred in Austin when the artist let a fan rap Goosebumps. Many people leave the rapper's concerts under the impression, but there are moments that spiral out of control. At one of his concerts, he asks his fans to come closer to the stage because of the great distance between them. Many were injured, including security. One of the guards even broke his leg, but the artist said that he had nothing to do with the incident and he only wanted peace and love. And in 2017, during the rapper's concert in New York, one of the fans climbed onto the balcony railing. Travis noticed this and urged the guy to jump off.
Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. They gonna catch you. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Yeah!
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
In an interview, the fan told what happened next. I fell and hit the floor. Before I realized what happened to me, I was surrounded by security. Travis was yelling at them to carry me to the stage, and instead of putting me on a stretcher or providing other assistance, they just dragged me and threw me on the floor of the stage. Scott took off and handed Green one of his expensive rings for bravery. Only after that, the young man went to the hospital, where he was found to have a fractured spine, a broken left wrist, and a crack in his right ankle. Kyle underwent several surgeries in 6 months, but the left side of his body remains paralyzed, so he will spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. You can say that it's his own fault that he did such a thing, but I firmly believe that artists should take care of their fans' safety. And now let's talk about Astroworld. Even before the concert, there was chaos. When the crowds were just beginning to form, the lines became more and more noisy with each passing moment. Impatient festival goers standing in line threw garbage at each other and pushed towards the main gate. After the performances of several artists, Houston Police Chief Troy Finner met with Scott and his personal security chief Michael Brown. What was actually discussed is unclear, but according to Scott's lawyer, in the few minutes during which they spoke, Finner never once mentioned any security issues with Astroworld. But later, Finner gave another version that he did express concerns about security and asked Travis Scott and his team to work with the police and not forget about his team's social media posts about all unscheduled moments. From the very beginning of Travis's concert, a stampede began, and 2 minutes later, people were already screaming for help. Half an hour later, an ambulance is seen in the crowd. Scott recognizes the ambulance and stops performing to encourage the crowd to make room. At this time, a female officer warns others by radio that several people have been trampled and lost consciousness in front of the stage. Injured visitors are pulled out and pushed out of the crowd. And after 5 minutes, a woman and a man find a camera and beg the operator to warn officials.
That's okay with you real quick.
Travis stopped the concert 2 more times, and only an hour after the show started, he was told to end the concert. And after 13 minutes, the first death occurred. A total of 10 people died, the youngest being a 9-year-old boy. Many visitors gave interviews in which it was said that they had never seen such a thing in their lives. It was very difficult to breathe. Many held hands so as not to lose each other. Someone broke their ribs, someone cracked their head open and lost consciousness. And as one of the concert participants said, "I've been to many major festivals, but this is the first time I've seen this."
Our family is grieving for my brother Danish. He died saving his fiance. She was getting hurt, hit left and right. He didn't deserve it. He tried saving her and he saved her. She was admitted into the hospital and cost him his life.
Travis later took to Instagram and apologized. He did not leave the house for 2 weeks while many of his business partners refused to continue working with him. Travis finally gave an interview in which he said he didn't know there was a stampede going on. The hip-hop artist noted that various incidents happen during concerts. People faint and he always stops the event. The rapper claims that he learned about the victims only a few minutes before the press conference, which was organized after the festival. Scott said that he is not ready to name those who are to blame for the tragedy, as his team is still trying to figure out this issue. He added that being an artist, he trusts the staff who's responsible for security at the event and stressed that he did not want to harm anyone. So after all this, you need to go to his concerts with caution. Now, let's talk about why Travis beefed with the ASAP mob.
Travis.
No, not because he's confused with A$AP Rocky. Tyler Gross is a famous fashion designer and creator of the brand Super Radical. He was an assistant to the late A$AP Yams and had ties with the A$AP family. In 2013, Tyler and Ferg's brother intended to meet A$AP Ferg in New York, after which they were put in a car where Travis Scott was. It was raining heavily outside, and when they were waiting for Ferg, Travis decided to kick them out and to sit alone in comfort. After that, the fashion designer began to tease Travis for stealing the style from Rocky, and you have to agree, it seems strange since Travis has a song with Ferg.
The candy top, fuck around, make the Latinas pop. It's a new world order. Never had my head on my shoulder.
And finally, we want to tell you about his manic obsession to receive a Grammy, which he has repeatedly stated in his tracks.
My papa, they didn't understand it. When I'm home, know that I fuck on a Grammy.
If you've seen the documentary from Netflix, then you know how nervous he was. Of course, the Grammy is the most significant statuette of all time, but if you look at history, the organization did nothing but humiliate the hip-hop culture.
It was just lack of knowledge.
Yeah, ignorance on the part of Naris. They don't know anything about rap music.
Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, DMX, and other legends didn't get this award, but did that make them any less legendary? Absolutely not. And what's there to talk about when Travis's extraordinary album Astroworld lost to Cardi B's album? Even though Astroworld is still being listened to while no one even remembers Cardi B's album anymore, Travis still wants recognition and will try his best to get this award. This has been Music Vibes. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and see you soon.